Ultimately, I just see that most places in the world are that way, where people are closer together, the cost of living is less, but the things that you would need from a city are available to you. Or even the things that you
Right.
need from a town just to sustain yourself are available to you. So really, what am I paying for in the United States? It seems like everywhere else, people are a little more connected and people have like just a better relationship with each other, with their foods, with their history. That's very refreshing to me.
How did Italy come into the picture for you? Where did that journey start for you? Why Italy? Why real estate there?
Yeah, it was really random. My brother saw an article in CNN where they were talking about €1 homes in Italy. And he just sent me a link and said, check this out. He knows that I invest in real estate in the United States. And he was like, it would be totally cool if we bought something in Italy, grow our own wine.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that was his idea. So I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll go check it out. And I was like, at minimum, it'll make for good content. I can record the entire experience. Worst case scenario, 2 weeks in Italy, can't really complain about that.
Right.
It didn't work out. But it turned out that it did work out. I was able to find some properties there that made sense for me. Can't really say that I regret anything about it. I think it's been an absolutely positive experience. And now try to encourage other people to do the same.
So you bought a place in Italy after already being very well traveled. Where did your travel inspiration begin? Where did that journey start for you?
Honestly, the inspiration for travel started with the stories of my parents. Both my parents were born in Haiti, and I would always hear them telling their stories about what life was like in Haiti for them as kids. Playing in the river, climbing mango trees, getting in trouble for, dirtying their uniform. Just it seemed like a completely different life than what I was living in New York City. So I always fantasized about other places in the world and what those places might be like. And I'm very much that way, where if I have an idea in my mind or if I've heard something, I want to see it and experience it myself. Obrigado, senhor.
Very good.
I would say that the inspiration for travel came just from them being from a completely different world
Right.
than the world that I grew up in. But actually starting to live internationally, that started from going to Thailand.
Okay.
When I went to Thailand for the first time, I really got to see how far the US dollar goes. You would always hear about that, like, oh, the US dollar is strong or whatever the case may be. And up until then, I never saw that,
Right.
right? Because I would go to Cancun, Mexico, or go down to the Dominican Republic, or Caribbean, Bahamas, etc. And all of those tourist markets are kind of dollar adjusted, right? The hotels cost what they would in the United States. The food costs what it would in the United States. I didn't even understand how the people, I was like, well, if people are saying that they're earning $400 a month, how can they live here?
Right.
This doesn't make any sense. I couldn't connect it. But when you go to Thailand, even in the tourist areas, everything is still priced according to what Thai people can afford.
Right.
And I finally got to see in real life how far the dollar goes. And that started to get me thinking, what would life be like if I were to live outside the United States? If I could earn an income in the US but live in a country like Thailand, what would my life be like?
Right.
And that is really what started that journey of, hey, you know what? I need to start planning for earning in the United States so that I can live anywhere in the world if I want to.
Geographic arbitrage is really powerful and has become something that so many digital nomads are discovering now. I find that there are still so many people that don't understand what's available. How did you feel about quality of life in Thailand or other places you visited? Do you get the same quality of life you have in the US, or what does that picture look like for you?
I guess the best way of putting it is that I think the quality of life in most other places is better for me, in that it seems like everywhere else people are a little more connected and people have like just a better relationship with each other, with their foods, with their history. I feel like the United States is more comfortable in that, and convenient.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of well placed and works just fine. But I feel like the quality of living, actually living, is better in other countries. And it's like what you get for your money. So you could rent in Bangkok a nicer apartment, maybe for like $300 to $600, depending on the area that you're in and what you consider nice, in a world-class city like Bangkok. Large population density, subways, not subways where they have like a monorail,
Right.
all the electricity, Wi-Fi, everything that you would need. And when you look at like a city like New York, that same apartment would cost easily $4,000 a month. So it's like,
Sure.
what am I getting? And how often are you in your home? At least for
Right.
me, I'm not inside too often. I sleep there, I bathe there. So why am I paying, $3,400 more for what exactly?
Right.
So ultimately, I just see that most places in the world are that way, where people are closer together, the cost of living is less, but the things that you would need from a city are available to you, or even the things that you
Right.
need from a town just to sustain yourself are available to you. So really, what am I paying for in the United States?
Right, absolutely. One of my favorite things, and I think we miss it a lot in the United States, I remember growing up as a kid, we used to sit around the table every night and have dinner. And I feel like over the years, a lot of that has gotten lost in the US. We sit in front of our TVs, everyone grabs what they want, or there's a lot of fast food meals. I feel like when I travel, there's a slower pace, but it's really, it adds to the quality of life in a way that we don't even realize we're missing sometimes. But what do you think about meals, food, the way that people sit and have a coffee together? Have you seen that consistently throughout your travels in different places, or do you have certain experiences that stand out regarding just culturally how people sit around for a meal or have a coffee together?
It's like that almost everywhere else.
Right.
Everywhere else in the world, people will take the time to enjoy their life. So like here in Spain, you still have that siesta culture. You could go to stores and it's closed from 12 to 3 p.m., 12 to 4 p.m. because that's their time to get together with their family, eat lunch, etc. My parents used to tell me things like that too in Haiti, where they would leave school, go home for lunch, then come back.
All right.
So that allows the kids to have lunch with their family, interact with their siblings, and then kind of get a break from the school day and then back to school for the second half.
Right.
Or sometimes your friends would come over to your house for lunch, etc. It's like lunchtime is like a flash in the public school system.
Right.
And then back to school, and you don't see your parents from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. if you're lucky, right?
Right.
So I feel like when you look at how other people live in other cities, they still place a lot of value on checking in with each other. That tends to be around meals,
Right.
but there's still that check-in. For example, in Colombia, one thing that impresses me, almost every other Monday is a holiday, right? So that means like Sunday nights there's a party somewhere, and when there's like holidays, people just kind of gather in the streets, sit down on chairs, bottle of some booze, drink, talk, and that's very important to them, right? Some of my employees are in Colombia, and when it's holiday time, they'll start talking to me about, what they plan on doing with their families, whether they're going, like, they have like this finca culture where they go to the farms.
Right.
So I feel like it's something that's missing. And actually, even though I'm very rooted in my entrepreneurial life and focusing on work, it's comforting to be around people who value your presence.
Right.
And it's something that I realized in traveling that I was missing in the United States. It is something that I wanted.